This program is supported by the Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge-Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.
Welcome back to Yankee Chronicle. I'm your host, Abby Peel, and we're coming to you from the basement of MJ Harrington Jewelers, getting to see the behind the scenes of the design and repair section, and I'm now joined by designer David Ernster. Talk about kind of the process of that, and what do you like about that part of your job?
Well, I mean, there's, as you were saying with Kenny, you know, it's nice to get to know the people and try to understand what it is that they're looking for and what their sensibilities are in terms of what kind of stuff they like, historical or modern.
How important is it to keep up on jewelry trends in your job?
Well, it's pretty important, as far as the designs go.
Yeah. So I'm thinking specifically like engagement rings,
right,
wedding bands, things like that. I mean, that is an ever-evolving, trend-driven industry, and I'm sure you have to be kind of aware of what's happening in the world.
You do, yeah, you do. And we all design jewelry here. I mean, I'm not the only one.
Sure.
We all kind of have different things that we do, like that our own design sense brings us to. So
sure.
So there's those kind of things. I mean, I generally go more contemporary and a little cleaner. Look, Tom Armstrong upstairs, he's another jeweler designer here. He's a little more traditional. He has more of a watchmaking background.
Cool.
Kenny also does very contemporary, clean looking stuff, a lot of things like that.
Sure.
So it's a lot of fun.
Have you ever designed something and then years later someone brings it back in to change it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I have. And sometimes that hurts and sometimes it doesn't,
That's a good point. Oh, I didn't think about that. I was thinking more of like the upgrade sense. This is cool. I designed it. Now I get to change it. But yeah, that might also hurt your heart a little bit
if you really liked it and they want to do something that, you're like, well.
Yeah. Do you ever convince them like, I wouldn't do that if I were you?
Well, sometimes, but usually you try to accommodate their.
So I have to admit, I think this is my first interview by candlelight, which is very cool here. But talk about some of the pieces of your bench. I mean, this is your bench that you work at regularly, but there's definitely some interesting, definitely to viewers that don't understand this industry. Talk about some of the things that you use regularly, tools, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously the benches are somewhat the same. I mean, we all kind of have our own, modify it to fit our own style, but for the most part, you have a pin, and there's this distance here between the drawer to catch all of the sweeps that we call them.
Oh, okay. The remnants, yep.
Torch, talking about custom work, I'm just getting ready to melt some of customers' old metal here and pour an ingot and then roll that out and make some rings from that.
And make one thing out of all of those?
Well, I'm going to make 2 rings. We'll see. Hopefully there'll be enough metal there.
Okay.
We'll see. We have laser welder, which is kind of an interesting device.
Yeah.
It's a yttrium aluminum garnet crystal that's in there, and it's basically, it is just a laser, and it just melts little tiny pieces of metal.
Fascinating.
So it makes certain things very easy, easier than it used to be. It's easy to tack stuff together and get ready to solder then.
How many projects do you have going at once? Are you working on one thing and wait till it's done to move on to the next? Do you have multiple going at one time?
I probably will have 2 or 3 of them going at one time.
Okay.
And then as I'm moving along, I'll go over here to the polishing and polish up some of them and get them cleaning.
Sure.
Or I'll have to put them into the sonic cleaner beforehand, to get them cleaned up enough to work on.
Okay. And people are waiting to hear from you. What's the status of my project,
you get a lot of calls, people asking about their...
Yeah. Talk about working here at MJ Harrington's. I mean, you've been here a while, and you've clearly been a staple here for a long time.
Well, it's really a lot of fun, Some jewelry shops are different, but we kind of deal with everything, restorations and repairs and all kinds of stuff. And because of my metalsmithing background, we do a lot of like hollowware and teapots and candlesticks and things like that as well. We had someone bring in a big bronze sculpture one time that they need a little piece repaired on.
No, and you can do that?
Sometimes, it depends, All
right, we won't market it too much.
Depends on what tools we would need to do it, But we are set up mainly for jewelry. for smaller work.
Sure.
So some of the bigger stuff can be a little tough.
I have to say, one of the things about MJ Harrington's is I've never heard David or anyone here say no. He always says, let me look to see if we can do it. And I think that's really interesting. And also talking to your point of what people have brought in before, you wouldn't think to bring in something like that, but you kind of make it happen here.
Yeah, I mean, every piece is different, and like you were saying, trends, the jewelry does change over the years,
Sure.
the way things are done and things are set and stuff like that. When Dave's dad owned the place, I was working here. Actually, someone brought in a carburetor from an old tractor for me to work on.
No way. All right. Little small engine shop, too.
Right,
How about that? Have you ever been out in public and seen somebody, a necklace, ring, earrings, and been like, oh, I designed that?
Yeah, in fact, when I do the Craftsman show, I have people come into my booth and say, "Oh, look, you made this for me," or wearing the pendant, that I
Very
made 'em.
cool.
It's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, that's like a big pat on the back for yourself.
Yeah.
Well, it's so great to see the behind-the-scenes aspect of this. I myself have had jewelry repaired here, and I never knew what it looked like to have it down here, but it's really fun to see how this all operates, and your craft is really incredible, so thank you for telling me all about it.
Thank you.
MJ Harrington Jewelers wants you to feel at home here, whether you're choosing something new, creating a unique design, providing a state piece, or bringing in a treasure of jewelry for repair. If you have not been here, come and meet their great staff. Next week, we'll be at the Preferred Building Systems, where they work closely with you and your builder to create the perfect energy-efficient living environment using their modular method of construction. Tune in to our replay Game of the Week this Sunday and Monday at noon and 7 p.m. This week, it's girls basketball as Kearsarge hosts Guilford. Check out the program schedule at ycnnow.com for the most up-to-date information on games, Yankee Chronicle, and specials. All YCN shows are available anytime at ycnnow.com, along with on-demand viewing of all of our local programs anytime you want. I'm Abby Peel. Join us again next week at this same time for an all-new edition of Yankee Chronicle.
This program is supported by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Their full-service model offers oil delivery, propane, motor fuels with design, installation, service, and maintenance of all types of oil, gas, and alternative energy systems, as well as air conditioning, water conditioning systems, and their highly trained and friendly staff will assist you throughout the process of buying, installing, and servicing a full line of energy products. H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating. Echo Communications, a digitally integrated commercial printer and mailer located in New London, New Hampshire since 1997, with roots going back much further as the country press, AccuMail, and the home of the Kearsarge shopper. Echo Communications. Main Street Bookends of Warner, for books, toys, games, cards, gifts, and a gallery of local art. Main Street Bookends of Warner. The Innertown Record, your weekly hometown community newspaper covering the Kearsarge Sunapee Sunshine region of New Hampshire. The Innertown Record.